Hi, my name is Kimberly from Zeman Development. Today I'm going to show you how to import data from MobileCause to Razor's Edge using Importacular. So first of all, open Importacular up. You'll find it in the plugins section of Razor's Edge. Select MobileCause from the data sources here. And then we need to choose, first of all, the type of transactions we want to retrieve. So you can see the various options we've got. I'm going to choose donations and sales. And then we need to choose a date range to import our entries from. Okay, and click OK. So this will download our data from MobileCause, and you can see immediately that we've got 15 records for review here. So I've created a mapping template. Let's take a look at that. So you can see along the top all the different areas of Razor's Edge that we can import into, and down the side within the tab that you're in you can see the different mappings that you can set up. So the first thing we need to do is set up a primary constituent mapping. Let's open it and take a look. You can see on the left we've got the Razor's Edge fields. In the middle we've got the source field, so if you click on the drop down here, this will show you all the different fields that are available from MobileCause. So you can choose exactly where you want to map each field to in your Razor's Edge database. You can also select a default value if you choose as well. So you can type in here, or if it's a code table you can click on the drop down, and if it's a tick box you can tick or untick the box here as well. Now, Importacular will automatically map any fields that match exactly, so the first name's already mapped, but you can map any of the others exactly where you want, as I say, or you can change what they've got there. Additionally, if there are any required fields, they'll have a little green tick here, and you won't be able to save this mapping until you've either created a source field name or a default value for one of those required fields. Additionally, there's a few settings here that you can set up. So, for example, with surname, if you've got people who are entering their details online, they're perhaps not that stringent with their typing. So you can say that all surnames need to be proper case. And Importacular will correct that for you automatically, so everything goes into the database as you'd expect. So let's save that. We've also set up a default constituent attribute as the category of origin with the comment of MobileCause and today's date. If we click on addresses, we can see here that we've got the constituent address, the home phone and the email set up. Again, let's just take a quick look at that. Exactly the same as before, we see with the Razor's Edge fields on the left and the source fields on the right here. And finally, we've got the gift set up here. So let's open that up. We can see there's quite a lot of required fields on the gift tab, so we've got quite a few default values here, but again we've selected data to bring in from MobileCause too. And finally we've set up a gift attribute as well with the keyword. Okay, so once we're happy with our template we can save that. Now we're going to create a control report, and that will just show us any errors that there might be during the import process. And we're going to create a Razor's Edge query of new and updated constituents as well, so we can easily find them. If we hit continue, then that'll take us to our data review screen. So this shows us on the first screen a summary of all the data that's going to be imported. On the left we've got the action to take, so we can see that we're going to create the majority of these records, so that means they're new records in Razor's Edge. But the first record is an update, and that means it's found a match in Razor's Edge, so we're going to update that record rather than creating a new one and creating a duplicate. So if we scroll across to the end, we can see the match quality, and this is an exact match, and that means it's matched on email address. So we can be sure that this is the same person, even though the name is slightly different. So we're going to update that record. And if there was more than one matched record, you would see a list of them here, and you could select the one that you wanted to update. If you're not sure, you can click on the Razor's Edge symbol and you can view the constituent in Razor's Edge, so you can check the details before you make a decision. And then we can see the other tabs across the top, which will let us drill down into the data that's going to be imported into Razor's Edge. So here we can see exactly the different people who we're going to bring in as constituents, and all of the data that you see here that's in black you can edit within the table as well. So if you notice a spelling mistake or that somebody hasn't entered their details quite correctly, you can just change it on the fly here. We've got the different mapping names for each area at the bottom, so we can switch between those and see the various different mappings we've set up and the data that's going to process. Here we've got our addresses, our home phone numbers, and our email addresses. And finally, we've got our gifts and our gift keywords. So if you're happy with the review of all that data, then we can go ahead and run the import. But before we do that, we can validate the data, and that will just show us any errors there might be and any tweaks we might need to make to our mapping template before we try and run the import. So if we click on validate, it will check every different record to make sure they're all going to go into Razor's Edge. And we can see here that we've got 12 new records, 1 updated record, and 2 exceptions. Now the 2 exceptions in this case are 2 blank records that we've got here, so they won't be imported. That's fine. If you wanted to ignore those before we get to this point, you could change the status here to say ignore. And if we change any record to say ignore, then it will automatically be sent to the control report so we can check it later. So once you're happy with that, you can untick the validate button and click import now. Let's create our query. And once again, it will go through the process, checking every record so it can give you the details if there are any difficulties. So exactly the same, we've got 12 new records rather, 1 updated record, and we've now got 2 skipped records because I just chose to ignore those. So let's come out of here and let's go and find my query. So there's 13 records in here. So let's first of all take a look at our updated record. So here we can see that the name has been changed from Nan to Nanette, so we've got a full name. We've imported her phone number and email address. And we've updated her address. So her home address that she had previously has been changed to an alternate address. And that's something that you can set up in the settings of Importacular. You'll notice that her gift's not on the record, and that's because the gifts all go in as a batch. So let's find that to start with. So here we can see my batch, my Importacular MobileCause gift batch. Here are all the details. If you're happy with it, then we can commit it. And now if we go back to the record we were looking at, we should be able to see Nanette's gift is here. So there we go. And we've also got the gift attribute here as well with the source of fundraising. Okay, we'll take a quick look at another record, one of our brand new ones. Let's take a look at a random one. So here we can see we've got a brand new record. Again, so we've got our biographical, our address, our phone and email data here. We've got our address has been added, and we've got our gift with our gift attribute. So that's how to import data from MobileCause into Razor's Edge. I hope that was useful. Thanks for listening.